So be aware you are going to be live on YouTube.
We are live.
Okay. Got that. And then switch off this sound. Otherwise, I will hear myself many, many times, which I don't want. Okay. Welcome, everybody. We are on the top of the hour, and let's start this number 71. Did you hear me? Number 71. Well done, crew. Okay, for all who is here for the very first time, where did you arrive? This is the Wednesday Web Jam. It's a living learning lab. So today you might find answers to your questions, but we wish you to find more interesting questions leading to surprising answers for us to change the world. So this community you are in, we consist of clumsy innovators, compassionate facilitators, cheeky co-creators, ignorant experimentalists, but we all are hungry learners and change makers. We work, we live by one principle, and that is failing forward. There is no other way. And for that reason, share your tears, your fears, your stories, and your dreams. You are so welcome to. Well, mind you, again, you are on YouTube and you can decide how you are going to appear. Today is number 71. And together with Fieke, we will be hosting you. Let me pass the mic to Fieke. Oh, and before I do that, Fieke is our visual designer. And that means she always makes a drawing of the gem. But since she is today host, we need people to draw. So feel free to draw and upload your drawings to the Miro board later. We need you. Okay, Fieke, the mic and the floor is for you.
Thank you so much for being here. Yuen already mentioned it. We share a passion for learning. So I thought it's about time to introduce the topic of learning experience design. So we share the passion of learning and we share the passion of design. And this comes together in the expertise of learning experience design. I once met somebody very special. He's called Niels Floor. And I invited him for today to do a presentation and to get to know this community, because he's very interested in this community as well. He's a learning experience design pioneer, and he spread the word and his vision about learning all around the world. And he created tools like the learning experience canvas, and that's used on all continents. So I was very proud to get him here today, but unfortunately, this morning he had to tell me he couldn't make it due to health issues. So I really hope I can introduce him another time, but I'm going to introduce another speaker today, which is who is Yuen. She's also my partner in crime in learning experience design, and sometimes we meet in this field, and she has her own vision and opinion and ideas about it. So we are going to do the presentation instead of the presentation of Niels, and hopefully Niels will do his presentation afterwards. So it was failing forward today because we had to grab a topic that we wanted to present, but I managed to do that, and Yuen managed to do that too. So let's start with a good icebreaker. And I see a lot of familiar faces from this community. So you can answer this question in the chats. And if you are new to this community, if you are new to the web jam and you haven't attended one before, then tell us what happened at your most memorable Wednesday web jam. And if you have your Wednesday web jam for the first time today, then please answer the same question for another meeting you have attended online. Now let's see what you are writing in the chat.
Wil je deze?
Oh.
Thank you, Remco.
Oh yes, that happens. The speaker was ill. Oh, I remember the Wednesday web jam where your wife baked a big cake.
Yes, Danny.
Oh,
Yummy cake.
escape room, yes, that was memorable as well. Total chaos in the escape room.
I ate
Let me see
all,
if there...
all the cake.
Oh, you ate all the cake. Okay, that must have been memorable. Yeah, and somebody sang. Mark sang a song with guitar. Well, I experienced that one in a training together with Niels for like basics in learning experience design. And he started one of his webinars with playing guitar. And well, that was memorable. Silence. Yeah, a web jam about silence, which can be very awkward, but learning, you can learn from it. Okay, let's start with my presentation, and afterwards Yuen will share her story. Okay, I'm going to talk about learning experience design. In short, you can call it LX design. This is one of the examples. This is a setup of a learning experience design I did for Competence Factory. That's a training institute in the Netherlands. And I wanted to give a crash course on design thinking. So I invented, or I created a program where people had to design a dinner experience for the one that sat across the table. So this was the setup. I put all kinds of prototype material on the table, like pasta, dried pasta, lemons, and I draw plates and stuff. So this is before, and this is during the events. So you can imagine people were having a lot of fun learning how the steps in design thinking are in a crash course of 1 hour in which they had to design. So you can design all kinds of things, products, services, experiences, and what I really find very challenging, and therefore it must be my mission to design transformation or intervention or transforming experiences. So that's what I want to contribute my life to. And I'm going to tell you about a case or a program that I designed for the university in Utrecht, which is a city in the center of the Netherlands. It's called the Vinci Projects. It all started when this guy here in the middle went to the D school in Stanford. And this professor, he's an award-winning scientist. He's a chemist and a professor at the Utrecht University. Next to him, another professor in human rights. And he asked me to design together a program and a project for his students. And typically for the students who have the idea of making the world a bit better. So I got them in a room together, the professors, but also some students and from the staff, and we designed together. So here on the left, you can see the learning experience canvas that I use a lot, and it's like a co-creation canvas. So you can co-create and co-design together the learning experience, and then I facilitate. We started, of course, with who are we designing for? Starting with empathizing with the learner. And we came up with all kinds of desired learning outcomes. This program needs to be a program for change makers. All the students that want to make the world a bit better, more beautiful and more kind. So these are the learning objectives or the learning outcomes that we want to achieve. And then what we did was something that may seem very familiar for you and very obvious for you, creating the learner's journey or the learning journey. But in traditional educational institutes, it's not very common to think about the learner's journey. They all think about what kind of knowledge they have to get across to the student instead of what experience or what kind of journey does the learner need to go through. One of the objectives or one of the learning outcomes that we want to achieve is to make the students more resilient to things, to failing, for example. So after the Dragon's Den, we thought of a Taekwondo workshop to actually feel in your body what real resilience feels like. I'm going to show you a video, and in this video, this is a promo to attract students to this program.
When I was about 8 years old, I first heard about something called climate change or global warming. Apparently that was something humans had created by our way of living.
I've always been a maker. First, of course, things like tree houses, zip lines, and eventually turned more into rockets and explosives. My name is Yuen Slats, and this is how I changed the world.
So this is the start of the program. We went to House of Cartesius, which is a very experimental place in Utrecht, the city where the university is based. It's a community of people who build and work completely cradle to cradle. So this is all about sustainability and getting the students out of the university building, because they found out that hardly any of the students, they go out of university while they are in university. Here you see another workshop making a poster how they could build their creative confidence and writing their ideas about how they could build their creative confidence. So here is a piece of a video of the Taekwondo workshop I just told you about. And you can see me there in the center with the pink trousers. And it's also very nice to know that Niels Floor is there in his Taekwondo suit, because he is also a Taekwondo teacher. Okay. So there I went on my butt in the workshop of Niels Floor. Let me tell you something about the students that went through the learning journey. This is Dineke. She's on the chair right there. And when she came in, she was like a shy little mouse. And she ended up, after those months, she ended up like a complete confident person that grabs the chair on the prototype party to give a speech. So that's really remarkable if the students are growing like this. On the right, you see Mike. Mike is a chemist student, and he has this autistic spectrum, so he has trouble with connecting socially. And after this program, I spoke to him and he told me to gain creative confidence. I speak to somebody I don't know every day. And I asked him, what do you gain from that? And he told me a lot of surprised faces. This is Brandon, and he is a student from Australia coming to study in Utrecht. And Brandon also went through incredible growth in personal leadership, and he found a lot of qualities within himself that he didn't know. And therefore he wrote me a special card to thank me for the program, and also the other professors, of course. Okay, let's go back. And now it's time for Yuen to tell her story about learning experience design.
Thank you, Fieke. The story I tell is quite personal. So I told Fieke and the crew, oh, I might, burst into tears. Years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, I had the chance to facilitate directors and judges from the Middle East. They came to the Netherlands to learn about law and to connect with their peers. And of course, they were expecting sessions that experts would be talking to them, and they would, of course, consume the information. But I was there, and I thought that can't be the session that they were going to have. So I wanted very much for them to have a beautiful experience while learning. And the way I tried to do it, using a lot of creative working formats as design thinking, I'm going to show you the faces and some pictures of the sessions. So for example, and this is also because Fieke just showed me that her story would be about students. I have always wondered, why are we so much concentrating on children and students, the younger generations, as if they are behind us? And I always have been thinking, but the elderly then, they are still learning as well. We should help them too. So I am so glad to show you these pictures. Yes, these are judges and directors. They like to create as well. They like to do a persona mapping. They love to exchange and talk, write, and make jokes to each other, meeting new friends while learning. And especially when we have to communicate through games, the playful mind and the playful behavior did so much for me. You must know my Arabic is a bit rusty. So my translators and interpreters, they are standing aside while I'm explaining the rules. And what I see is people enjoy learning when the context is created for them to be in a safe space, to experiment. And again, to present what you know, to show your progress and share and build upon each other's experience, that is just sheer magic. And that makes happy learners. And I would love to share with you one other little thing. How does it sound when adult people enter a game? And please enjoy.
Giving you an 8 as well. Which means 27, right? 27 للفريق الثاني ب 26 I am giving you.
I loved it to see adults. Sometimes we describe it as, oh, they become children again. I don't think so. It is inside us, in you and me. I see people nodding here in the screens. And I would love for you to, get the playful you out of you and offer that to others to have a basis for, is it communication? Is it learning? Is it exchanging? There's one other clip I show you that made a lot of impression on me. And I show you this because this experience has changed me as trainer, mentor, or teacher. It has changed me that learning, if it is reproduced again in art, I think that's it. And that's what I wanted to share with you. Back to you, Fieke.
Thank you, Yuen. Okay, so now it's up to everybody to think about learning experiences. And what I'd like to ask you is to think about one of the most powerful learning experiences you ever had. So the question is, what was your most powerful learning experience? Think about that. And in a moment, you will go into breakout rooms and you'll get a link for a Miro board. And on the Miro board, I'll just quickly show my screen so you understand where you are. We've got 2 rounds. The first question about the most powerful learning experience you can share in the breakout room, and in round 1, you can put sticky notes and make notes and visualize in the frames in round 1. So if you are in breakout room 1, then stick to the frame breakout room 1. Okay, let's exit this, stop share, and then do we have a link to the Miro boards? in the chat already? No, not yet. Okay, I'll share it myself. It's okay. Here it is. Now everybody can enter the Miro board and we can open the breakout rooms. So have fun sharing stories about your most powerful learning experience.
Hi. How long would you like the breakout room for?
Let's say 10 minutes.
Lovely. Yes, I'll do that now. Enjoy, everyone.
See you later. Yeah. So, you know, Fieke, I actually wonder if, and I'm sure actually, you know, you have it. What was your most memorable learning experience? Perhaps as teacher, as trainer?
Oh, this, I should have prepared this one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is hard.
Yep.
Well, one thing that springs in mind immediately is like a magical moment which I had in university. But that's like within the frame of the traditional formal institutions. But never mind. I studied art and culture science, and I took like some subjects of choice, like a free bachelor or free master in philosophy in another university. And there was this teacher, and he took us outside. And this building was like a 17th century university building with those small inner gardens. And we took a chair and sat in a circle, and we read a book of Baudrillard, and we did close reading of Baudrillard, and we discussed every single word, every single sentence. And that was, I think, my first deep dive into what theory or philosophy could mean. And there's so much meaning in every sentence, so much you can interpret and go on and on it and discuss it. We could do like half an hour on one sentence with this brilliant philosopher in front of you, guiding you through the steps. And well, the surroundings of this old building and these brilliant students around me, they just took you in some kind of thinking flow. I imagine myself in a movie or in a book. Yeah, so I still think of this moment like a magical moment in my university career as a student, as a learner.
Yeah. And I love it because even you use words to express yourself. It's on your face. The whole story is just, you know, like stars in your eyes, and you are back in that moment again. And you by your descriptions, you bring us back to that moment.
Yeah. There's one other thing that struck me, or I was really flabbergasted what happened, was that one of the teams or the institutions where I work It's called Team Academy, and you have them all around the world. It's like a Bachelor of Business Administration, but more innovative. It's a school for entrepreneurs, and they start with a small company and they go out with a big company. Well, that's the purpose. And I met them for the first time, or the team I needed to do a service design with. And a few of the guys were drawing dicks on sticky notes all the time. And I really didn't know what to do. And I was an experienced trainer at that moment, but I never experienced such like disrespectful behavior. And well, at that moment, I was too flabbergasted to do something about it. But afterwards, I told myself I should say something, because next week we're going to meet the top of a big company and they have to behave. So I asked them to stay afterwards and to talk about this. And if they please wouldn't do that next week with the commissioning clients. Yeah. But I learned a lot. I think I learned something about you have to react, although you feel too taken aback to react. You have to react. Yeah. Because otherwise people will think this is normal and you accept this kind of behavior.
Yeah. I wonder, because I know Federico is also having is teaching class and having students. How would you connect the story of Fieke having such an experience as the teacher and powerfulness, Federico? This question is for you. Unmute yourself first before you think.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, can you just like really summarize again the story, just to, because I wasn't expecting that question. So just like maybe
always
like
paying attention.
Yeah, I was playing with that all the time.
I something I could say.
I can just tell you just the core in one sentence. Yeah, the first time I met a team in an entrepreneurial school, a few of the guys were drawing dicks on sticky notes, and I didn't know what to do at that moment.
Oh, and I have a student here, one of my students actually here. Okay. You know, what I've learned, I teach in many, in 3 universities. That's not many, in different ages, different kind of social contexts. And there's something, the thing that I'll do, some things that you cannot fight against that, you know? It's like, for example, yesterday, this is not about school, but yesterday I was selling a project to a potential client. And they told me, what can we do in order to people not go into their cell phones along the sprint? And I said, you cannot fight against the impossible. There's some things that you can make it possible, you know, like overcoming a bankruptcy or sitting down Israelis and Palestinians to do a workshop. That's easier than asking people not to write dicks, not to draw dicks, or asking people not to use their cell phone. So, but yeah, there's a way that, that's the first thing that you should, sometimes you should know that there's something that you cannot control. And if that happens, you can just expose that, you know, okay, let me know, explain me about this, how, so now that you have dicks, I don't know what part of the process it was, but for example, now make a hieroglyphic with dicks about how might we, you know?
Yeah. Let's do a reframe, yes.
Or let's use archetypes, you know, so maybe with humor, Latinos, we use a lot of humor to overcome circumstances. So you can say, okay, now we have 10 personas according to these dicks. So let's make the persona after this one, you know, if you see that if you see a spark of light in them, if you see that they are doing that because they are not interested or because they are just rude, well, that's different, you know, just don't pay attention to them. Or if they are being rude, you have to say, okay, you have to get out of my classroom or my workshop or whatever you're doing. Yeah. But I don't know, first thing is accepting the impossible things. Yeah. Then try to handle it with humor, and if not, I mean, you have to go strong, get stronger,
Yeah.
ignore. It's like,
yeah, I love it. I love it to hear humor coming up again, being so powerful. And yeah, I love that very much. Elle also wanted to share something with us. Elle, please go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely would use a little humor, something like, are those self-portraits? or and if they are, my sympathies, because they're pretty small. Sorry, maybe that's inappropriate, but I just wanted to make you laugh.
It's like the Picasso methodology, the one that you wrote the other person. Okay, it's like you can use that. Is that your portrait? I love that one.
Yeah, it asks your mind to really be flexible and create another context around it. What you see is not what you see, and then I mean, I hope that those on the receiving end, the students, will consider that as powerful, and they feel admiration for you.
And also just having a no big deal kind of reaction.
Yeah.
And I got booted out of the breakout room for whatever reason, but I'm glad I'm here. I was going to say my big experience was being a parent, and being a parent, so many times you just have to have a no big deal reaction when your kids do some crazy stuff, because they're almost looking for a reaction, and if you don't react that much, it loses the power.
Thank you, Elle. All right, people are coming back.
Let me see. I think everybody came back from the breakout rooms. I really hope you shared some wonderful stories about powerful learning experiences. And we'll go ahead in a moment with the stories that you told each other. But my second question is, what makes an experience powerful? What makes the learning experience you just told your fellow breakout room members, what makes this learning experience so powerful? What is it exactly? So that's a question you can chew on already. And maybe there's somebody who would like to speak up about what they have heard in the breakout rooms, and maybe a glimpse of an answer of what makes a learning experience powerful. So,
I can try.
Yeah, Frankie.
I saw, thanks Vicky for sharing. I saw we have quite a few things that everyone shared their stories which relate to playfulness, like the chance for you to be silly and just be there and not really care, because that insights comes from, I think, that experiential and really being immersed into it. Whether it's reading a book and having hypnosis and say, hey, this is like something that transformed me a few years after, or just looking at a series of other and just learning, using nature as a playground to experience. So playfulness comes across that theme. I wonder how about others. So that's what we have.
It's really nice what you say, using nature as a playground. And if I take a look at the traditional educational formal institutes, they are locked up inside those buildings and usually never go out to learn. And if I look at your frame, learning through emotion, well, emotion is something that you don't show in class in university, usually. So these are probably openings for new types of learning, also in formal institutes. And I think during work, you've got those learning experiences where clearly you learn from having big emotions. And I think that's something very powerful emotions. You remember, and they are meaningful because you have an emotion. So is there anyone else who would like to share a story or what was discussed in their breakout rooms?
Otherwise, we pick someone.
Oh, we could do the second breakout room.
Yeah.
And discuss
Yeah.
what makes the learning experience so powerful. And the next question is, how can you use those insights in your own designs? Whatever you design, whether you design products, services, experiences, or transformation in interventions, anything that you design. So what makes an experience powerful, and how can you use that in your future designs? Okay, let's open the breakout rooms for the second round, and hopefully you will find your own frame on the mirror board to put your insights and your visuals on. See you back in, let's say, 10 minutes again.
Rooms are open.
Again, Fieke, asking the question is also the person who's giving some answers and insights. So what do you think that makes this experience so powerful, and how do you use it for your future designs, whatever you make?
Again, you caught me. I should have prepared this one too. Well, maybe I could tell another story. I was doing a course called Leisure and Experience Events. Well, never mind. But the students, they needed to organize an event, and I was their guide or coach or trainer, and I told them at one point, you didn't do enough to attract attendees for the event. And they told me, no, we did really enough, and people are saying they're coming, and they had this great program with nice people that would, well, speak up, nice speakers and nice activities, and sponsors. They got everything covered. So I told them, okay, if you think you did enough on social media and on promotion and publicity, then let's see what happens. You should give them the freedom to learn and to fail. And failing, I think letting people fail is really hard, but failing is one of the, well, the biggest opportunities to learn. And okay, at this event, I think they thought there would be like 300 attendees, and there were between 15 and 30. So they cried together. It was a group of, I think, 5 students, and they went backstage and cried a lot and told me, sorry to disappoint you. Well, I'm not disappointed. I knew that this was going to happen. And I'm sure they will never forget this. And they will always think about me when they think about doing their public relations, doing their promotion and marketing on their events. Yeah. So it was painful to learn this way, but I think it was a big lesson. So, yeah, learning the hard way can be can lead to something.
Exactly. Yeah. I can share with you one little story about myself when I finally decided to attend a course, a training to sharpen my facilitation skills. And this guy, his name is Jan, and together with now I forgot her name. They facilitated this training. And action learning is, of course, one element. Practice what you preach. Do facilitate. Right. Facilitating for 60 minutes is easy. Facilitate something in 10 minutes, that's becoming challenging, of course. So we had this assignment to create an experience, a facilitation. Oh, how we're changed.
He got smaller.
Oh, she's having fun. Yeah. So
She sees herself. Sorry. Hi.
There she goes. So to make this facilitation work, I designed a lot, and I wanted to add gaming and playing in it, and I also wanted to show it from different perspectives. So long story short, too much stuff in it. So when I got the feedback, it felt like, I was slapped here in the face, there on my shoulder. It was really, painful to listen to the feedback. And this facilitation was recorded as well. So yeah, I took it in, I did. I accepted what the feedback was. And the last sentence of Jan was, congratulations, you did well. You have enough stuff to learn. And to my peers, we were like flabbergasted. Wait, what do you mean? It was not going well. Why are you saying that it was perfect now? And yeah, as you said, all the emotions, the literal words are in my mind, and also distracting distracting confidence out of it. I can't go lower than that moment, can I? Another bottom than this
completely one. Resonates, because I had to do this kind of course to become an educator in higher education in the Netherlands. And at one moment we had to present one of our classes. We had to do one of our classes, and it was recorded. And I got this CD or DVD with a recording of my session. And I never dared to look at it.
Me too! I haven't!
I'm so afraid to see myself
Still in the drawer. Yeah, still in the drawer.
I should have done that, because there's so much to learn from that. Yeah.
I'm not going to do it anymore, because, mind you, of course, that's not my only failure. I had many more after that. I don't know which one to choose.
So Yuen, you're going to reveal some of the principles that makes a learning experience powerful, aren't you?
Yes, I will. Yeah.
So when people come back from the breakout rooms, shall we dive into them immediately? No.
Let's ask one or two persons and see what they have come up with. Yeah. Because as you just mentioned, something that you discovered yourself will stay with you forever.
Yeah.
And if it's just Yuen, shouting this out on a Wednesday web jam, bleh, It's on the internet anyway. Why would I? Federico, please go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
No, I promised myself not being deep and meaningful today, but I cannot avoid that. So if you watch your videos, and we were speaking about this with Yen yesterday, maybe you will have a learning experience about not being judgmental with yourself. And it's going to be hardcore, you know, because part of having a powerful experience is something is that you know has emotions in one place, and has this specific and weird perception of time. For example, mine was a bankruptcy, and I thought it was longer than it was. So in your case, you thought it was shorter than it was, you know, and then it's reactive. So then you have that, you can make that, you know, that kind of a shock therapy kind of a thing, watching the the videos, and it will be really, really insightful for not being judgmental with yourself and the others. That will be a good one.
So my head says, yes, Federico, yes, I agree with you. My emotions, don't you dare to touch that drawer.
That's when you learn, when you have both sides saying, conversating about that.
I'm resisting. No, I don't want to learn. Not now, not today. No.
Yeah. That you should, and tell us what happened after that, my next session.
And they're coming back.
Welcome back. You guys should rewatch this gem on YouTube because of the conversation we just had in the plenary.
About dicks and dicks and pitching skills. And then we have a new course, dicks and pitching skills.
Oh God.
So nice to have you all back again. And there are a few people I know, or well, a lot of people I know, but there's a special guest. Well, I think she's very special. She's called Claudia Meyer. And did you experience the breakout rooms, Claudia?
Yeah, nice. It was a very international group. Of course, I expected that because the audience is very international, and we did stay on topic, but then it was also nice to see that, you know, still we connected with stories and with experiences, and one story led to the other. So that is, I think, also again, experience design, that you connect people, and there is the learning and the connection, the human connection. So yeah, great to facilitate that also 2 times with the same people. That's nice.
So you are talking about human connection. That could be one of the principles that makes an experience powerful. So could you tell me what breakout room you were in, so we can all view the notes on the frames, or were you just busy having the conversation instead of?
Yeah, I think we were not the breakout room with the most complete notes, because we were more busy with sharing the stories, but we were breakout room 7, very nice group with Wiebke, Nashiket, and Anupa.
Nice, you've met Wiebke and Anupa. And Nashiket, of course. Yeah, it's a group of...
So a very experienced group.
Yeah. So let me see, there is a lot of nice stuff on the Miro board. Who is breakout room 4? So... Oh, that's Frankie. You already had your moment of fame today. Let's go to breakout room 8. Is there anybody who wants to tell me about breakout room 8? There's a lot of things.
I can try and give something back from.
Go ahead, Remco. What makes a learning
basically, we reflected on why the learning experiences that we wrote down on the first board made some kind of connection, and we basically So basically the stories we were sharing were about why this disconnected in such a way. And for example, being able to explain something really simple without dumbing it down is an art in itself. And there's not a lot of people who are able to do this. So I shared, for example, a story of my father who was a university professor, but he was really capable of making the stuff he did, which was really complicated, to explain it to me as a child in a very simple way. And just for the record, I just asked my children this morning if they knew what I did, and actually they didn't, or they didn't really understand what I did. They know I have a box of Lego next to my desk, and I do a lot of stuff with Post-its, but they didn't really know what I did, and they couldn't really explain it to me. So that was.
Remco, could you maybe explain it in just 2 sentences or maybe 1? What do you do?
I'm an academic director at a management school. I develop and deliver design thinking courses. And I do consultancy in companies.
Thank you, Remco.
And your children are 3 years old or 30 years old?
No. They are actually 11 and 13. And the only thing they know is that I go to the office and I come back, and that I have big boxes that I take with me. And they don't get to touch my Lego.
All right, we're almost at the top of the hour. But Yuen, you can reveal the secret about what makes a learning experience powerful. And then to wrap up.
Yes, I will. And it's not the secret. I hope I may say a secret. And let me share the screen again. Because what I experienced with this special group from the Middle East, I also reproduced it in a TED Talk, and you're very welcome to watch. What is underneath the learning experiences that I design are some brain principles, and you can see them here. These principles have been formulated by academics and research. And there's a lot of stuff you can read about it, of course. And you can find it on this website, and there is some English material. I also like to offer this to you as a simple checklist when you are designing learning experiences. So will the experience help the students to focus on the case or the situation at hand at the desk? Because that will make them concentrate and being in that world of that situation. Will you have repeating moments that you refer to the learning material or address the emotions that they have? So repeating in a minute, in 10 minutes, after an hour, 1 day, 40 days, helps them to grasp what you offer them to learn. And as Remco and also Claudia say, build upon what they already know helps to grasp more while learning. On the other side, make sure all the emotions are touched, or many emotions. In this case, you see dopamine for, oh, I really like this teacher and what she's telling me, and her name is Fieke because she did this with us. Or a little bit of adrenaline. Ooh, it was exciting. I didn't know whether I could make it, but together with my peers, we finally were able to do this assignment. Then creation. And this is what I like so much during the stage of prototyping. Do create something. It doesn't matter. Use the pen, the Post-it, pick up your glue stick, make something. And that helps to learn better. Then the last one, use all your senses. Is there something to watch, to touch, to smell, to taste, to listen to? If you put that in the learning experience design, it helps the learner to hold that. And I was thinking of a word for it, and I came up with the word return on learning. Instead of return on investment, return on learning. So those are 6 brain principles. There's a lot I can share with you. And I also use it as a simple checklist. So that's what I had to share, Fieke. And I can go on closing the jam for today. I again share my screen. Whoops.
Don't forget to mention the next.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, first of all, I want to mention there is the book club next time. Steve will be leading that one. I think Anupa is going to help them because they had a basic conversation and agreement on doing this jam. Steve, do you want to do that? And he said yes. And those are the basic conversations we love in the crew. So come back next time. The book that we are going to talk about is Innovation Capital. Right. Then you can find us, the Wednesday Web Jam, on all these social media. So welcome to say hi on these media with us. And yes, the last one in this row, that's Clubhouse as well. So simply search for Web Jam and let's meet over there. Maybe you see some of these faces here. Some are busy doing real work. This is the crew behind the Wednesday Web Jam, all saying hi to you. And of course, we love to have a drink with you. Is it a coffee, a smoothie, a tea, whatever, a wine? Please do support us on ko-fi.com to cover our costs of the Wednesday Web Jam. Did I do everything I promised to do, Mim?
I think you did, and everybody can find the link in the chat.
Right. Then if you want to stay along for another 30 minutes and have personal chats with Fieke or other persons, do stay. Otherwise, I say bye to you now and hopefully see you next week again.
And don't
Fieke.
forget to upload your drawings, your visual notes of today, if you made some. Don't forget to upload them, and we can view them backstage together.
Okay.